Welcome to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast with Mike Kincaid and Jake Goebel. Join them as they experience specialty coffee and document their journey. These friends explore roasts and roasting methods, brewing equipment and techniques, and review the cafes they visit along the way.
Thanks, Brioni, and thank you for joining us for episode 69 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. I really didn't feel like this one was very good, but we kept it in here anyways because we want to be transparent with you. Kind of nicknamed it the reality show for us because I felt like we had an off day, but we really talked a lot about the differences between batch brewers and pour-overs. Let's jump right in. All right, mic's on. We're recording. Does that make you happy?
No, I wasn't ready.
Oh, you weren't ready? Oh, okay, perfect. Well, hey. Thank you so much for joining us on the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. I am Jake Goebel. Sitting here next to me is Mike Kincaid. And together, we are Orange Cactus Coffee.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like...
Something good?
McGoebel or something.
Together, we are King Goebel.
Benifer.
Right? It was Kin and Goebel. King Goebel.
Oh, there you go. That's much better.
King Goebel, your majesties. Yes. Yes. Kneel before me. That just got weird all of a sudden, but this is actually a show about coffee. Mike and I have been podcasting since the beginning of the year. For those of you who are new, thank you. Welcome. For those of you who know who we are, welcome back. And you've listened before, thank you so much. Those of you who are buying coffee, thank you. Those of you who are sending emails, thank you. Those of you who are engaging on Instagram and Twitter and doing all them things, thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you very much. No thanks to you, Mike. No thanks to you. But Mike and I have been podcasting since the beginning of, or we launched the show January 1st, 2017.
Yeah.
We started talking about whether we want to go into coffee as a business. Probably in about July. Is it May or July of 2016? Have we been doing this for kind of a year?
No, May was...
May?
Our first recorded session was in May.
Was in May. Perfect. So May of 2016, Mike and I sat down and started talking. Did we want to kind of get into coffee together? Since then, we recorded sporadically, not on a schedule or anything. And then we started recording a little bit more and talking about our business plans and the things that we want to do. Those episodes are not available on iTunes anymore. iTunes only goes out to 100 episodes, and I added a daily ristretto show.
Oh, really? You can't go back to the beginning?
So you cannot go back to the beginning and listen to all of them. You have to go to the website.
Oh.
So the website is orangecactuscoffee.com and then / episode 1. Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode 4, Episode 5, Episode 6, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you kind of want the backstory, and not everybody wants to go to a website and figure it, not everybody wants to do that.
Could be in our favor.
Yeah, yes. Well, the quality has gotten, well, that's kind of a lie, too.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to say the quality's gotten better, and I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Let's keep it real here.
Yeah, I don't want to stand here. I'm not standing. I'm sitting. I don't want to sit here and lie to you.
Well, that's good stuff.
Is that a saying? Do people say that? I don't want to sit here and lie to you.
Yeah, but I will.
Oh, perfect. So, anyhow.
So where are you going with this?
So all I was saying is that for those of you who kind of want a context, I find it interesting as I'm listening to podcasts, the good ones, they'll tell you their name because nobody knows when the first time you're listening. My name's Jake Goebel. This is Mike Kincaid with me. But what are you guys doing? Who are you? Well, we are just two guys that love coffee, are in the process of beginning a coffee business, but we're taking it at a very slow pace. We're taking our time. We are trying everything.
Sounds like an excuse.
It's not an excuse. Let me tell you what it is.
So what have you done in a year? Well, we're going slow.
We've been studying. We've been trying like coffee and
We've been becoming full-time students.
Full-time students of the coffee game.
Of the master
There's
craft.
a lot of things that we've been doing. One, we've been drinking a lot of coffee.
Yes.
Number two, we've been trying a lot of by-hand preparation methods. There are not many drippers out there that we have not tried yet. There are some, but I think we've tried more than there are out. No, wait, you know what I mean.
We've tried more than we haven't.
I think so. I think that's honest. We've tried more than we haven't. Wait a minute.
We've tried an equal amount.
We've tried a lot.
That is greater than the lesser that has not been tried.
Why are we doing that? We're trying to find something, the best way of it working in a cafe or And then you say, well, you guys have never worked in a cafe. You really don't know what you're talking about.
But we spend a lot of time in them.
We spend time in cafes, and I will tell you this. It takes an outsider to disrupt an industry. I'm a firm believer in that. When I hear coffee professionals, I'm not going to call out no names. When I hear coffee professionals, some of them, I'm not trying to lump everybody together, but when I hear a lot of folks talking about, a lot of coffee pros talking, they have 10, 15 years inside the industry, they're not trying to innovate. They're not trying to totally turn the...
Where can this go?
Turn the system upside down.
Sure.
Turn it upside down. I've talked about it a little bit, but when you ask Alexa, I want a mocha, who's bringing it to your door? I don't know if that's even possible, but I can tell you this. We're going to find out. We are going to find out.
Yeah. I agree.
What do you think about that?
I think you're onto it. I think it's too easy to find out what works in the current environment. And so you perfect that. And I think these coffee professionals many of them have done that. They've perfected it. They're experts. They know exactly what they're talking about, what's best for the current model. But sometimes the current model's not what's best for the future.
Yeah.
Or the future don't care about your current model.
Yeah.
Because new technology is being introduced. People are consuming the coffee different ways, or they want it faster. They want higher quality. They want both. They want customer service.
They want it all. So I'm sorry if that sounds arrogant or ignorant, but it's where we're at. We're reading lots of books. We're visiting lots of cafes. We're talking to lots of people, professionals. We are just trying to provide you with excellent content about how to get the best cup of coffee at home, how to get the best cup of coffee in cafes, how to begin a coffee business for yourself. If that's something that you want to do, you just follow along with us. Our journey is a long-term journey. I mean, if you think about it, if you've been waiting a decade to start your cafe and you finally decided, well, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do something about it. And in 2 years, you can go, you can be there. How is that not better than spending another 10 years thinking about it, dreaming about it, talking about it?
Wishing about it.
I
could have done it better.
I could have done it better, but I didn't. Well, why? I don't know, but that's what we're trying. That's what we're aiming for. That's what we're in that same vein, we're trying to put out content. We're running a podcast. This is episode 69.
Are you sure about that?
Fairly certain about that. It's episode 69. We have a YouTube channel. We have an Instagram account. We have a Twitter account. We have a Facebook profile. And we're constantly trying to put stuff out to entertain you and give you information and inform you. We call it infotainment. That's what we're trying to do. We've got plans for more. We've got plans for bigger and better things. We're not trying to get paid to do it. We just want to provide you an incredible amount of value. You can tell we don't have any sponsors. Not that anybody would be interested in sponsoring this nonsense anyways. But
we're sponsor ourselves.
We're not even trying to track down any sponsors because we want to just keep giving you the best we can for free. Well, it's not free. It costs your time. And that's more valuable than money. And I appreciate your time. Mike appreciates your time. Mike doesn't say it all the time because he gets emotional and weepy when we start talking about this stuff because he loves your time so much. He gets choked up.
Yeah.
He just gets choked up. And so now to come full circle at 8 minutes of this introduction, it's time for confession. I don't have any show notes. I'm just rambling.
Yeah,
going.
I just pulled that up.
I'm just going.
I was wondering if we need to go ahead and do like a quick edit and pause and figure out what we're doing.
Reconvene at another time? I don't think so.
Or just make this the episode of reality. This is the reality of sometimes life, the week, family, responsibilities, everything that pulls on you.
Yeah.
Sometimes prevents you from being fully prepared.
It's true, but there's still a lot of stuff we can talk about. We can talk about more studies talking about drinking coffee leads to a longer life. There's a lot of stuff about that. And I kind of want to go back to, because Manny G recommends stuff. And last time...
Who's Manny G? There might be people out there
that don't know who Manny G is?
Don't know who Manny G is.
Wow.
I mean, in full honesty...
I never even thought about that.
I still personally have no idea who Manny G is.
So...
I'm just kidding, Manny.
Manny G recommends coffee, devices, news, all things coffee for us. Every show, Manny G comes on, and I got a little jingle that goes Manny G recommends. I'm going to play it right now.
Manny G recommends.
And
so good.
Manny G has got his finger on the pulse of the coffee industry. He is always searching for more information, listening to new people, and trying to get great information about coffee out there. Almost 10 minutes. Is that what you're looking for? Okay, 10 minutes. We're about 10 minutes in. Anyhow, and Manny G, the last time he recommended the Keys to the Shop podcast, and I had not listened. It wasn't last time. It was 2 times ago.
2 times.
Last time he recommended the Cold Wave. This 2 times ago he recommended the Keys to the Shop podcast, and I messed up Chris's name. It's Chris D. I don't want to say it. I'm sorry, Chris, for messing up your name. But he says it.
Just know you're not the first. We mess up pretty much every.
But Chris is good about giving you his name at the beginning of his podcast.
Yeah.
He's very good about that.
Good
so dude. Yeah, Chris is a super good dude, and he has a super good
absolutely
podcast.
You ever meet somebody that
show
that says absolutely?
Channel. Yes.
Can you do that? Absolutely.
DeFerio, I think I called him DeFerio. It's DeFerio.
DeFerio.
Chris DeFerio. Anyhow,
cool.
Chris
name.
has got a great, and I started listening to more of the Keys to the Shop based on Manny G's recommendation. I got to tell you, it is a fantastic podcast. A fantastic podcast.
He's good.
There was one episode 34. Manny G did not recommend that one. He recommended 31 lessons for new baristas or tips for new baristas, and it was great. 34 was good as well. Ryan Soder came on, and I got to tell you, I
did this send you down the tunnel?
I had some conflicted emotions.
What was episode 34?
It was pour over and batch brew. It was a cage fight between pour over and batch brew at their coffee shop.
Yeah.
And let me just say right away, and normally, right, you say something nice and then you say something mean. But I'm not going to say something nice and something mean.
Is that the etiquette? Is that how you...
That's how you're supposed to do it, yes.
So
these guys are coffee pros, and they know far more than I do.
They run a shop.
About coffee. They run a shop. They've been in the industry for decades. When you count their experience together, it is decades, and I got nothing.
It's been a millennia.
Ryan, I think, is 14 years, and Chris is a long time as well. And they're like, we're going to get rid of pour overs and batch. We're going to get rid of pour overs. We're going all in for batch brews. We're dialing it in. The coffee is just as good. It's faster. There's really no redeeming qualities to the pour over. It doesn't make coffee better if you dial in your batch brew, and if it is, then you got problems with your batch brew. And the ceremony is not really worth it because most customers don't care; they just want the coffee. And we need to get this thing going for speed. Yeah. We need to get the whole.
It's a point of frustration for some baristas.
Yeah, baristas, you say, "Oh, you want a Chemex, and now I got a 10-minute project to get you this Chemex," and the baristas are hating life.
Yeah. And so is this where you want to go? You want to talk about this? Because this is a good subject, and I know we had some thoughts about it.
Yes, I do kind of want to talk about it. I just have, I really don't have a whole lot. I've got one question.
One question.
Just one question only. Do you do latte art?
I don't know.
That's a question that I want answered, and maybe Chris can answer that for us. I don't know. I don't think he listens. But do you do latte art? Because the milk tastes the same. So if you're putting finishing touches on something, then the visual representation, the act of doing something more, it means something. You say, well, what about if the barista's like, I don't want to do latte art. It takes too long.
Yeah.
It's easier just to pour and serve.
Doesn't impact the quality or the flavor of the drink.
It doesn't impact the quality. It doesn't impact the flavor. Why are we doing it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good question.
I don't know.
It's a question that you should ask yourself for everything. Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
What is the value?
What is the value?
And that's the question they asked. They said, what does pour over
what
add?
value does it give? And they determined that it does not add any value.
It doesn't add any, it doesn't improve the quality of the cup.
That's what they said.
So it
doesn't improve the quality of the cup. The ceremony is negligible. Their customer base is not really feeling it. So they decided just to do away with it.
And they did specify
that they want to dress up the presentation of the batch brew.
Sure.
Try to make it special. But I got to tell you, let me finish this one thought.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been to a coffee shop where I asked for a coffee and the person was annoyed to turn around and use the spigot to give me a drip coffee.
What? No.
I got to tell you, I think if you're
It's probably because you asked too many questions about it.
Maybe. I wasn't this
What's
time.
in the pot? When was it made?
I wasn't doing that this time.
When was it roasted?
If your barista's rolling their eyes because somebody asked you to make a Chemex, the problem might not be with the Chemex or the preparation or the coffee or the delivery. It might be with the barista.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
It could
might be.
You can't eliminate that. You can't eliminate that from the equation. Absolutely not. So it's an interesting perspective.
I got to tell you, there was in episode 31, the essential advice for new baristas. Kind of like, where do you stand? Chris was telling them, hey, you need to find a way to add value wherever you're at, and do that for your own self because that's the type of worker you are. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But if you've got a new employee and they don't know where to stand while they're at work and they're in people's way, that's a training problem, not a new employee problem, I believe.
Sure. It could be. I think that episode, though, that advice was for the employee.
Yes.
So you might not.
And he told him, hey, if you got a bum deal, get out of there.
Exactly. You might not be working at a place where management's taking it, but you're like, I'm going to make the best of it.
Absolutely.
So you put these into practice, and you will. But I would agree with you on that as well. If you find like you don't know what you should be doing, then the one that's supposed to be training you is not doing a good job.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If I'm standing in front of the ice machine and I'm blocking the ice machine and I'm a brand new employee, that's not my fault. That's your fault, bro.
Yeah.
That's your fault. You're not and I'm not saying this is not directed at Chris in any way, shape, or form. It's directed just in general terms from an employee to an employer.
Yeah.
If your employee is not doing what you want them to do, that is your fault. Period. I'm a coach, right? I coach little guys. If the little guys are not doing what their job is, it's not their fault. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I haven't trained them, taught them, or removed them from the situation and put them in a place where they can succeed.
It becomes their fault when they know where they should be and they choose not to be
and they
there.
choose not to do it.
That's
You
the
got
difference.
It.
So
bada boom, bada bing.
We're looking at it from two different perspectives, and I'm pretty sure he would agree with us that good training will eliminate a lot of those.
I'm sure it comes from personal experience.
Exactly.
That he was in a place that was not good, I'm sure. And where he's at right now, it's probably not like that. Because he even said, if you're in a bad spot, you gotta move on.
Move on.
So I'm not trying to pick on him. No, it's just I'm continuing the conversation.
Exactly.
Out because
from our
I'm sure,
perspective, from a
I'm sure
management
Chris,
perspective.
if Chris has taken the time to run a podcast to teach people about the coffee industry, I have no doubt that when you meet him one-on-one in person, he takes the time to teach you how to do your job, if his job to train you.
Oh, absolutely.
If he's looking to increase the coffee game amongst the masses, there's no way that if he's responsible for one-on-one, he's just going to let that slide.
Yeah. I think, when I listened to that episode, coming from a position where if I'm going to be training others,
yes,
that these are concerns that you need to address. That they don't walk away needing to come up with solutions themselves based on a checklist because you've provided adequate training.
Yeah.
Or as a trainer, cover these things. Help them when they face these situations. Have it part of your training model. And that's one thing Cat and Cloud are very big about, the onboarding, the training, and making sure they spend very little time, and that's their preference, on actual, what is coffee? Where does it come from? All the things that you would think, as a new barista or a barista to a new shop, you would focus on.
Yeah.
Their focus is on customer service
and
their
people.
vision,
Yeah.
what how you are going to function in their space.
Buy into the culture, the coffee will come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's true. Do we want to get back to batch versus pour over? Were you done? You think?
Well, I was done. I just wanted to. Because I don't have the answers. I've never worked in a busy coffee shop, but I've been a customer.
Yeah.
A long time.
Sure.
And I've made coffee, and I still think there's something special about pour overs.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with them. They said, hey, if you're charging more for a pour over than a batch brew, and you're taking the time to work on the presentation of the pour over versus the batch brew, it is more special. Is it not?
The one thing that I do appreciate is they kept saying, too, that this is a decision they made for their shop.
Yeah.
And they by no means are advocating that this is the direction that you should go in, that all specialty coffee shops should go in.
Yeah,
So-
but listen to the podcast. Old boy had an axe to grind as well. Not Chris, but his guest.
Well,
He had an axe to grind.
They
with
had a
pour
preference.
overs.
They had a yeah. He
was mad at pour overs. You can't come away from that and say that.
I disagree.
He was mad at pour overs.
He loves pour
inside
overs.
a shop.
He makes them every day for himself. He says that's how he personally prepares his
Yeah.
coffee at home. So I think he's got. He said he enjoys it. In fact, he prefers it for his own cup. Just in the function of a busy shop and their batch brew being dialed in as it is.
Yeah.
They said it didn't improve the quality of the cup. Now
Right.
the presentation, they admitted, should be improved on their batch brew.
And it's cheaper to throw away old batch brewed coffee than it is to hire another
Maybe
barista.
additional staff or tie them up.
staff.
Yeah. So for their particular shop. So I thought that was pretty clear, though, that he said for us, and he specifically said, we're not saying this is for everyone, but for our shop at this time, this is the decision we made. So I respect that. Whether I agree with it or not, I respect that they're saying this is for us.
Well, I totally respect the fact that they're saying we're going to do what we do. You do you, baby. You do you. If that's what you think your shop needs and your people need and your customer base is filling it, then go ahead. You do you. Customers are who gives you money to do it.
It comes
Starbucks
down to
got customer. They get that grande pike place with room for cream on that, on that spigot.
Yeah.
That out of that coffee spigot.
Spigot?
They got a lot of people. They what is it?
I don't know. I'm just waiting for my chance.
Dunkin' Donuts. They got a lot of people coming in. Dutch
Sure.
Bros coming in for that 911.
That's all branding.
Everybody got something
That's all
that
branding.
people are going to pay them money for. But I'll go back and I'll re-listen to it. But I'm pretty certain dude was not real happy with pour overs in the coffee shop setting.
No, he wasn't. And
That's all I'm saying.
I agree, but for their shop. So I don't know if if you have a slower shop that's not crazy busy and it's never crazy busy and you can do pour overs and your team likes doing pour overs and your customers
You probably don't have much of a team if you're never busy.
Well, I'm just saying they claim that it sounded like in their situation there was some frustration with having to do a pour over when you have so many other things on your mind as a barista you need to get to.
Yeah.
And then you got a line of customers
Yeah.
and you're busy.
Yeah.
And the coffee, why am I doing this? The coffee doesn't taste any better. I could be working on all these other things that I have to do. You know what I mean? And so they were trying to solve their problems.
So why not just get rid of the barista and have a coffee robot?
We could.
That might be the best way to go.
Robots are going to replace us all.
Robots are going to replace you.
We can either resist, adapt, or
They can probably replace
deny.
the pour-over barista as well, though.
Yeah, I think isn't it called the the Clover?
The Clover.
The Clover makes a fancy cup.
Yeah.
It's $10,000 though.
Not anymore. You can't buy that now.
Yeah, well, you can get the perk, single cup. That's coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's up for debate, and I think each shop is going to make their own decision. But I think for me, what it comes down to is what is your vision as a shop? If you are someone that wants to get people in and people out, and your focus is not on the presentation so much, or the preparation, or the ceremony, if that's not as important to you, that's fine. That's your decision as a shop. Then you can do that.
But you still got to make money. Still got to pay the electricity bill.
Well, absolutely. And some would argue that those methods might pay it better because that's what people expect from a shop. Just give me my coffee quick. It's good. Thank you. On your way. I don't want to stand around and wait for a 3-minute pour over because that's all you offer.
Yeah.
I'm paying devil's advocate because we've talked about this.
Yeah, but you won't come back, right? I mean, if you know that you got to wait for a pour over, you wouldn't come back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Only the fancy pants, hoity-toity folks are going to come back.
I don't know.
I want fancy pants.
Some have proven that. There's shop Blue Bottle, one of them, only pour overs.
Yeah,
and they're growing
I got
like
a question
crazy.
for you, real quick. Now that you want to play devil's advocate, and I want to give my man his props. Have you ever had a good pour over at a cafe?
Yes, Royal.
That's it.
And they managed the line, and it was one barista.
How many of cafes that you've been to that have done pour overs? What's the flawless experience ratio?
Exactly. That's
What's
a good
the
question.
flawless experience ratio? I can think of Royal.
That's probably it. I've had okay ones elsewhere.
I had an okay at Cartel, and when it was just okay.
Yeah.
I had okay at Step One, and it was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've had not good at Starbucks because they will do a pour over for you.
Mm-hmm.
They will
They
bring
got
out a dripper, and they will do a pour over.
They'll dust it off. Yep.
They'll dust it off. They'll find the manager, somebody that
Pull
knows
out the
how to do
manual.
it. Yep. They'll pull out the manual and they'll do it for you. And then I went into one place. I couldn't even get an order in. I'm not even going to speak their name, but I couldn't even get an order in.
Well, I've had one from them.
You've had one from them. How was it?
I didn't care for it. It didn't justify the price or the time spent waiting for it.
And then, I'm sorry, Firehouse used to give good pour-overs.
You've had some good ones. We had some nice Yurga.
We've had some good Yurga from there.
Yeah, Yurga.
So 1.5 out of 6. So if you look at that, if you just look at your own empirical experience, Ryan be like, okay, what now, dude? What you got to say now?
Yeah, exactly.
He's right?
There is value to that, and we know I think Rayo has expressed, that was the same question. I've gotten a discussion with him on a forum once about not getting points for difficulty.
You don't get points for difficulty.
And he says, that was the question. How many good pour-overs have you had at specialty shops? Look at your own experience and evaluate your decision.
What is 1 out of 6?
1 out of 5 would be 20%.
I'm so bad at math. I have no idea.
Yeah. But for me, the follow-up question to that, though, is that the brew method's fault or the brewer's fault? Or is it because the brew method is a little more difficult to learn that we shouldn't be bothered with it?
I think Ryan's point was it's easier to dial in a batch brewer for consistently give the same cup on a batch brewer than a pour over.
And so we've thought about this, and we've even thought, well, maybe there's balance in the middle. Maybe you don't have to give up the ceremony. Maybe you don't have to give up the one cup, making a cup at a time in the presentation.
Yeah.
But you can maybe make it a little bit shorter time. Use a brew device that's a little more forgiving and easier to get that consistent cup from.
Yeah.
And go about it that way. Because then, wasn't there even a recommendation for certain batch brewers that were quite small, like 3-4 cup? So you're not making a whole lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. So that was our thought. Like, you got the AeroPress, you got the Blue Bottle Dripper, even the Kalita Wave, or even the Clever. These things are a little bit easier to use. Especially the Clever. Add grounds, add the amount of water, wait 3 minutes, boom, you're done.
Boom.
And you're kind of still producing a 1 cup. Maybe the ceremony's not as fancy as doing the pour over water, so you're not drawing that much attention to even make it worth it. I don't know. I don't have
you don't have all the answers.
My answer. I don't have.
I got to get you running a coffee bar, and then
trial and error,
and
that's
then
why
we'll have something. Then we'll have something worth talking about. This was 26 minutes of nonsense so far.
Well, for me, the reality that I don't want to accept is that the customers don't care. That's the difference. I don't want to believe that the customer truly doesn't care how their coffee was made as long as it tastes good. And maybe that's the reality that I need to accept.
Maybe that is the cold, hard fact.
That's what it comes down to.
Of coffee service is that people don't care. Maybe.
And not to say that that's everybody. We care. We enjoy going to a shop. But how many of your customers that a shop's selling to on a daily basis care that you're doing a pour over versus a batch brew if they can't tell the difference in quality?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I guess there's a faster way to do it, I guess, right?
Do what?
So if I come in and I want a latte, you're going to take a few minutes and make me a latte, right? But if I
latte,
right? If I could make an espresso machine that makes lattes without or faster, and they taste just as good.
Yeah.
Should we do it?
Should we invest in it?
Is that where we should go? I'm just asking the question.
No.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. I do not have an answer.
Well, if we want to drink a little bit of our own advice that we subscribe to in other areas, it doesn't. The quickest way to go out of business is be romantic about how you make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if we don't like that this technology is creeping into the coffee shop, and we think it's taking away from what we think makes it special, but that's where it's going, and the majority's supporting it, we can't stop it.
Yeah.
We might be able to just say, well, we're not going to adopt it right now because we don't have to, right? Just like having to have your menu on Instagram and interact on Instagram when 10 years ago you had an ad in the phone book. I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. And you had the chalkboard menu, and that was it. You ran flyers, and
I feel for him now even more now that you just kind of painting this picture for me, because they have to make these decisions, on a day-to-day basis with the black and white sheets in front of them, knowing what the money is and knowing that their paychecks are dependent upon it. We have the luxury of sitting from the outside and kind of chit-chatting and examining and be like, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But I think the benefit to that is by the time you do jump in, you've made a lot of important decisions. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Chris DeFerio recommended in the one afterwards, where he did a Founders Friday. Yeah. I think it was episode 34, 33, where he brings in kind of an entrepreneur and he totally recommends getting the lay of the land first and spending time doing research. And so we're kind of doing research at the same time as we're doing all this yakking.
Exactly.
And we should probably get on to a different topic here because nobody's left listening, I don't think.
I don't know. I think this is a very heated topic that many people, even customers, are like, I want my pour over, or I don't care, give me my batch.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing because to me, I'll summarize like this. I think what it comes down to is you got to decide who you want to be as a shop, how you want to interact with customers, what kind of environment you want to create for them. And then also, kind of mixed into that, what gets you excited? Exactly. Your niche, who you are, might be the throwback old school, they make single cups. And then the coffee shop around the corner is the high-tech, machine-driven cafe. And that's fine. People like that because it's the same thing. You go to the grocery store, you have the self-checkouts. I like the self-checkouts. I know many people that hate the self-checkouts.
They stand in line.
They rather go stand in line. And there's times I do both, depending on. So, yes, technology is coming.
Why I stood in line today?
No.
I stood in line because I had 6 milk jugs and 6 gallons of distilled water. So I had 12 gallons.
Yeah.
And if you'd use the self-checkout, okay, you scan it, and then it has a weight. And you have to put something on there. If you say skip bagging this item, you can only skip bagging like 2-3 times before
they think you're stealing stuff.
An attendant has been notified. The attendant has to come over and press a button to let you out.
You really should go through the normal checkout.
So you go through the regular checkout and you put one up there and you say, hey, can you just scan one of these for me?
Yeah.
And hey, I got 6 of those and 6 of these.
There you go.
And they say, no problem. And they can put the number in. But if you do the self-checkout, have you ever tried to put 12 gallons on the self-checkout bagging area? It ain't going to fit. There's no room. Well, and plus, you want to put your dog food up there as well? It's not going to fit.
It's not happening, buddy.
It's not happening. So they've got both.
Yeah.
That's why you have the go and the taste and the experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best of all of the world.
Boom, bada boom, bada bing.
And that's something we've talked about. Having a quick, boom, you need to leave? No problem. We got good coffee right here for you. You want to hang out?
You have a greeter. You have a greeter that points you in the right direction.
Yeah.
You want to hang out? You want to kick it? You want to sit at the bar? Right there.
Or you're in a super rush? Well, we've got self-serve batch. Throw in a buck or two and you're good to go.
That's crazy. I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I even think the experience, the brew bar, I was just thinking as you were talking, what's the difference is you have the human element, obviously. And
some people want to pay for that.
Well, not only that, if you have regulars that come in and they like a little stronger cup, you can customize it.
Yeah.
That's the difference, I think. You can't customize a batch brew. And this is something I've been thinking about for me personally. I want to get a batch brew for the house, but I like a stronger cup than the wife. How do you accomplish that with a batch brew? Well, you either meet in the middle or one person has to have a stronger than they like cup or vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your batch brew is going to be...
You slowly bring the wife up to your level.
No, I swear it's the same as yesterday, honey. Yeah. Nope. Same strength.
Yeah.
20-1. Ooh. Yeah. So how do you solve that? If you have customers that like a stronger cup, single cup, at the brew bar can do that. Yeah. I can brew you a 12-1, no problem. Or I like 20-1, no problem. You can't accomplish that with batch brew unless you have several different batch brews
going.
So I think that's clearly our answer is you have multiple applications for what people need. If they need something quick, we got you covered. If you want something tailored, which we recommend, because we'll dial it in for you. I think that's cool. If they're like, it could be a little stronger. All right, next time, or here you go. Let's make it stronger.
Custom experience.
It's just like when you show up at that restaurant or whatever. Oh, you want the usual number 2? You know what I mean? The restaurant gets to know you. You want Sprouts on that? No problem.
Yeah.
Same thing with the coffee.
Yeah.
Let me make your coffee.
Yeah. In fact, by the time you get up to order, it's already done.
You know what? Ghostly, you show up, you sit down at my brew bar, I'm going to pull out the Chemex for you, and I'm going to have some special Malabar roasted
If
for
Ghost
you.
shows up, the Chemex is coming out. I don't even need to say, he could be at the end of the line. I know that Chemex is, I'm going to start warming it up right now for him.
And then I'll expect that he'll have some of his own roast that I'm going to drop to
Right?
the
His
EK.
own beans. His
and
own
pull-
beans.
pull-
He's going to pull out of his pocket, and I'm going to charge him for it. Do we charge him for it?
No, the Ghost, it's on the house.
That's
and then we
a
just
great
pulled
question.
something decent for him.
Just
And
a little something
a little
decent?
chaser for your Chemex there of your own roast.
Why don't you try this on the house?
See, that's the experience that we have a vision for.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just based in naivety.
Silliness. Yeah, we're naive,
Ignorance.
we're stupid, we're ignorant, but you know what? We're going to try.
I guess, to our own peril.
To our own peril.
So
Trust
stay
me,
tuned.
I have failed much bigger at many other things. I am not afraid to fail at this because I know it's somewhere along the line I am helping people and I'm serving people, and that's where I'm happiest.
That's what we want to do. We don't want to serve everybody the same thing. We want to serve them what they want. Now, obviously, it's going to be limited. We can't have an unlimited menu, an unlimited amount of
I like
roasts and
limits.
beans.
I like limits.
But when you brew it, there's many things you can control for the flavor, how strong it is, right? And the extraction strength and all that. So that was my summary. It was a long summary, I know, but
I know.
this was
It's
good.
kind of a weird show. We're just kind of
It's so emotional. This is great. This is a good show. But they had an entire show about batch versus pour over. We're 30 minutes in.
That's true. We're only 30 minutes.
And it's a topic that we could have many shows on.
Yeah.
And we could have
that's true.
different people of the different sides of the aisle debate it.
Yeah. Can I tell you a little bit about a coffee experience?
Coffee experience.
Yes.
I have not had one.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. This whole coffee experience, I'm going to tell you, is this. I recorded the Daily Ristretto this morning,
I thought you had one this morning.
and then I left the house.
It's a good start.
I left the house I think I came, hold on a second. So I got up, I came, made myself a cup of coffee. I came over and got the beans from you, and then I came back home. And then as the missus was decorating the inside of the boxes with the chalk pastels, she colors the inside of the boxes for me.
Lovely.
I recorded the Daily Ristretto. And I was really feeling like getting a cup of coffee when I left.
Go somewhere.
So I went to go mail the boxes, and I had to stop by Walmart to get some distilled water and some milk and actually something.
You should be vlogging this.
Anyways, I did all this. I drove past Step One.
Mm-hmm.
I drove past Yellow Leaf.
I don't know why.
I drove past Starbucks.
That makes sense.
And I went to the library to pick up some stuff for my kids, and I walked past the new Blackboard Cafe they moved into. You know, they closed their shop and they moved into the library.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
They don't serve coffee, though.
I passed 4 cafes
Yeah.
because as I was sitting there thinking about it, I was just like, I had this thing in my mind. The mocha that I had down at Press is the standard.
That's what you want.
That's the standard that I wanted.
You didn't want a coffee. You wanted the mocha from Press.
I wanted something that I thought was worth the money. And I know I like Yellow Leaf. I think they're the best out here. But as I was sitting about parting with $5, I just was like,
Not quite.
not quite.
Yeah.
Not this time,
I
ISIS.
gotcha.
Not going to happen. I just don't know. Is there something? And in fact, I was like, I'd rather just come home and make my own coffee. I feel like I'm turning into Ghostly Roaster.
No, I experience the same thing all the time. All the time. The things that draw me to the shops right now are drinks that I can't make at home, mainly because I don't have an espresso machine.
Yeah.
But I also do, sometimes when you're out, I enjoy supporting them. But I can relate. Sometimes you're just like, you know what? I got a great roast at home. Let me just go make a nice pour over. And
I'm just going to make a pour over. And
sounds more appetizing, more appealing.
I'm going to be nice to myself. I'm going to be polite.
Let's say $4, $4.50.
I'm going to save some money.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just.
Sure. No, I mean, it's the same thing that
I feel like I let everybody down, you know? Like I should have gone out and should have had coffee, should have taken pictures, should have put it on Instagram, should have vlogged it, should have put it on Facebook. But I was like, I'm not excited about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Their business models for coffee and what they've got going, it doesn't excite me.
Yeah, it didn't draw you in.
And I got to tell you, just you doing a batch brew doesn't excite me. And I know that there's people just looking for their caffeine fix, and I'm cool with that, and you got to serve your customers.
Down with that.
But it's not going to get me to stop.
Yeah. Well, you've tasted the rainbow. And I think that there's just something exciting. Even in that episode, they talked about when you go to Krispy Kreme and you see, it doesn't change the flavor of the donut, but you saw
but they compared it to they compared Krispy
it.
Kreme donuts to the grocery store donuts, whatnot. That's not even in the same.
No. There's no comparison.
That's not comparison.
I'm just saying, if you couldn't see the operation, if it was in the back hidden, the donut's still going to taste the same. But I would argue that it wouldn't, because you do consume something with your eyes first, right? You taste with your eyes first.
Think so.
Your appetite gets...
I think it impacts it. Yeah.
Why do you think there's so much Instagram activity of people just brewing cup after cup after cup?
Yeah.
Because honestly, sometimes I wonder that, but then I see someone doing a nice pour over, and I'm like, oh, I want a cup of coffee.
That looks good.
That looks good.
In fact, I was just watching the commercial on Facebook. They got the little commercials that show up in your feed for that Phoenix 70.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a little video. I stopped and I watched the video. I was like, I wonder how many pours they're going to do. How many pours are they going to do? They did 5 pours. So they did or 6 pours, I think.
6
the bloom
pours.
And then 5 pours. And I was like, I wonder if they do 50-gram pours there. Is that what they've got going? If they do 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, that's 300.
Yeah.
So 20 and 300 is a good place to be.
Sure. That's funny, though.
And I got another dripper supposed to show up today. That's why I've been checking the mail. Mike's been hanging out. We've been hanging out.
I thought we had a stay. We had a stay in place. You were like, I'm not buying anything for a little bit.
Did we have that conversation?
We had an agreement, I thought.
I don't remember. We could.
What did you get? What is coming? I don't even know.
But
I'm still waiting for the December. I'm excited about that.
Oh, see, they've updated it. It was supposed to be here today. It is not. It's coming tomorrow. I got the knockoff V60.
Oh, did you?
Yep, because it's in black and I want to see it.
Oh, nice.
And then I also ordered the Brew cold brew filter. It's this device that they put, they use 2 mason jars to make cold brew with.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
And you put something in between them?
Yes.
And it brews, you flip?
Yes.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Is it BREU?
BRUW.
BRUW.
BRUW. BRUW. Brew. $20.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So you're right. There is an element to it. When you see it being prepped, you smell it, you watch it bloom, you kind of like, ooh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Now, does that appeal to everybody?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what I'm still going back and forth on?
Probably not.
I'm going back and forth on the glass, the double-walled glasses. Do you want a handle or no handle? You know what I mean? Do you want a handle or no handle on your coffee mugs? Because I was sitting there, I was looking at Tim Wendelboe. There was they had an ad on Twitter where they were saying we're hiring a barista.
Yeah,
and they have a picture of this pretty girl handing you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
It's like, what? Why'd you have the pretty girl picture instead of some ugly dude like me? Why is it? But anyhow,
it's an advertisement.
It's an advertisement. They don't want ugly dudes in there. Okay, whatever.
And plus, she is the bar manager, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, then that would make sense.
I've seen her in other videos.
So she's handing you a cup of coffee. And he's gone into, obviously, Tim Legend has gone through a lot to make his own porcelain, his own mugs for different types of coffees that brings out the flavors.
Sure.
But none of them have handles.
No.
Except for, I think, there's a pouring vessel or something along
the handle's
those lines.
not as fancy, I don't think.
Yeah.
You just hold it. It doesn't look as clean.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. But drinks are hot. And we live in a community with fragile hands, where a large portion of the population have fragile hands. That's all I'm saying.
Isn't that a Jewel song?
Yes. Yeah.
Something with these hands.
Yeah. Helping hands, fragile hands, holy hands. I don't know. I've had to lay holy hands on people before.
Spirit hands.
Yeah.
So that's spirit fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit fingers and...
That's what you do after you put the
hands.
cup down and it's too hot.
Yeah, like, woo.
Well, you got one with a handle? This is a little hot.
And then I think about, what about serving coffee in a brew vessel? Like, do you want me to, like, if I...
Something to pour it out of? Into the cup?
Yes. Do you want to pour it out into the cup for yourself? Or do you want me just to pour it into the glass and hand it to you? Put it on a tray
Both.
with a flower or whatever.
If you're doing the taste at the bar and you got time to sit and someone comes up and says, here's your coffee, and you can see it, they pour it for you and then leave you the rest.
Yeah.
So I pour your first cup. When you're ready for more, it's right here for you.
Yeah.
Double walled, so it's going to stay warm.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
That is cool. You charge more for that than for a cup of coffee? And then is it the same, or what? You know what I mean? How much coffee do you serve? Is it 12 ounces? You bring them an 8-ounce cup and you drop 6 in there, leave them some room, and then you've got more in there? Or?
No, I think you could have a specific menu item that basically it's 2 cups.
Yeah.
It just comes 2 cups.
Yeah.
And maybe a pastry or something. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like a deal. It's like a number 1. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's the swirl. I'll get the swirl. It comes with the specialty, the house specialty, 2 cups, and your choice of
Pastry.
Jake's famously freshly made
That dude licks his fingers when he's baking. I'm not eating anything.
Who's that? That guy in the back. Hey.
Hey, you know he's not wearing gloves? Yes, I do. Did you see he just picked his nose? Yes, I saw that too. Is he going to wash his hands? No, I don't believe he is.
But please reserve your final judgment until after you've tasted it.
Tasted.
You will be amazed. So you could have it just comes with different options.
Yeah.
Maybe it's always 2 cups.
I don't know.
And it just comes with, or it's like 16 ounces or something.
Yeah.
Where you get 2 8-ounce cups.
Yeah.
But it comes on the tray, comes with the presentation, comes with a little cookie.
Yeah.
And then, water. Maybe you do sparkling water. I don't know, something.
Who knows?
You just upping it a little bit. You're upping it.
I'd like to know who's upping it like that. Who's doing that?
That would be cool.
I want to go experience that.
Like, a lot of places, for people that they've got a couple minutes, they want to grab a quick bite to eat and a cup,
Mm-hmm.
you do this. It's not going to take an extraordinary
Extraordinarily
long time.
Extraordinarily long.
Obviously,
time.
a lot quicker than pulling something out of a vacuum pot or a brew, a batch brewer.
Well,
but
and
you're
that's
still
what,
3
that's what
minutes,
they were talking
5
about.
minutes in, and boom.
They're talking about pouring the batch brew, put it in a little brew vessel, and serve it on a mug on a tray, and make it special.
For me, and I know we've been talking about this, but it's the theme of this episode, and it just runs throughout. I haven't had amazing coffee from a batch brewer, so I need to experience that first to partly become a believer.
I got to tell you, I have not either. In fact, I had the exact same coffee when I went down to press.
Yeah.
I cupped it.
You cupped it.
I had it from a batch brewer.
Nice.
And then I had it on bar single origin.
Uh-huh.
And I believe I had a pour over.
Yeah.
That same Ethiopian something or other.
Wasn't it the...
It was good.
It was good. It was a conga.
Conga. But I got to tell you, the batch brew
Yeah.
was the least flavorful.
Sure.
Now, that doesn't mean that it hadn't been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, who knows?
You know what I mean? Who knows? It's not a fair estimation of it. It's not just one experience is not fair there.
Yeah. I just haven't. So that's part of the reason I think maybe I have a hang up.
Well, yeah, but you haven't had a whole lot of good pour overs either. So you're not drinking very good coffee unless you are having an espresso based beverage.
Yeah.
And even then, cafes been shorting you espresso on coffee because they just add more milk to your mocha or your blended iced whatever. And ultimately, I think you got to say, by and large, the specialty coffee experiences that you've had in a 50-mile radius from where we live have not been that special.
No.
Unfortunately, that's what you got. You have to.
You just see so much potential. You see, this could be so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that before. When I see people walk in and go,
maybe there's a reason. Maybe
what's the pour over?
Maybe
What's
our
the
idea
single
is
origin?
not a sustainable business model.
I think it is, but it requires a lot more foundational. You have to build it out. It does, in the people and the vision and what it can be. I mean, I don't know. I think there is big opportunity.
Man, this is a depressing episode. I think I'm ready to be done.
I don't know why you're depressed. This is exciting.
Is this exciting?
I think so.
Okay, I'm excited.
We're solving
we're solving
debating
the world's coffee problems from our podcast studio.
Because I just know the difference for us, what it would be. You go into a shop that has a dusty, single brewer in the back, and you go, what is that? Oh, it's kind of the same thing we've got here, but I just make it by hand. Was it tasting better? Not really. Okay, well, just give me the batch brew.
Yeah, it's $2 cheaper. I'll take that one.
I think there's different ways you can approach it that make it exciting.
I think maybe the reason why I'm a little depressed is I'm struggling with impatience.
Impatience?
I want to start a cafe tomorrow.
Oh.
I want to prove to the world
That it can be done.
that it can be done.
Or
and
show
it's
yourself that it can't.
I'm not young and stupid and dumb, you know what I mean? But I still feel like I'm still on fire
Yeah.
to go show the world.
You're young.
Is that too much? Should I edit this out? Or is it okay to leave it in? Can I leave it in?
You can leave it in.
All right, I'm going to leave it
You
in.
can do whatever you want.
Really?
This is the Jake show.
Oh.
Well, it's really.
Mike Kincaid's name comes first on everything. Just to let you know.
Yeah, against my wishes.
Well,
But
all right.
you
Well, if you're still listening, thank you.
What are we at? Time up?
Yeah, it's 50
Wow.
minutes. Time
Wow,
to
that's
wrap it
good.
up. Wrap it up, B.
No, I think you're just eager we want to try it. So
Yeah.
we can speak and say, okay, didn't work or does work. We just have a vision. So
Yeah.
for now, all we can do is look from the outside in and give our own 2 cents,
And tell you
which
what
isn't
our
worth very much.
No, our 2 cents is not worth anything. But
But what's your 2 cents? Tell us. We want to know.
There you go.
How many good pour-overs have you had at shops? Or do you find you'd rather go home and make yourself one?
and what's the ratio? How many good pour-overs to bad pour-overs?
And how many good batch brews? And does that excite you? Does that excite you to go down to pop and lock?
Mom and pop? Pop and
Pop and lock.
locking. Yeah,
Yeah.
pop locking. It's a type of breakdancing. That's good to go.
To dibbity dance down to your local shop and
Diggity dance. Woo!
and say, hey, give me your best stuff on batch. Here's $3. Here's $4. You know what I mean? What brings you to a shop? Or is it always the interaction?
Yeah.
Is that and some would say that's the catalyst.
That's the catalyst.
That's the kicker.
I think it's just location. It's I'm on a break from work or I'm going to work, and right before work I stop by Starbucks. I give them $2.85 for a grande pike with room for cream, and I take the last 15 cents and I throw it in your tip jar.
That's a batch brew.
And that's
they
a batch
use like
brew.
the big guys.
Yeah, they use the big guys, big buns, big Fetcos. I don't know.
Big buns, big Petcos. Yeah, those are SCA Gold Standard certified or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, they're good to go. $2.85 for that batch brew.
Maybe we should bring our own down there and ask
But I'm
them.
fairly certain that if you ask for the pour over, it's the same price.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't believe they charge any more for pour overs. I've never seen anyone ask for a pour over inside Starbucks except myself.
I don't think you can have a discrepancy in price for preparation.
They do, every specialty shop that I go to does.
It's hard, right? In my mind, it's hard. I understand. We're paying for your time, right? I guess
They do.
You're paying for the barista
Step
to
one does.
handcraft it for you.
Firehouse did when I used to go there.
Yeah. But I don't know,
Did or-
can you? Does that make sense from a customer? So would you be drawn to a pour over if ultimately you think batch is about the same, but it's going to cost me more and it's going to take longer? Does that make sense?
The step one was cheaper, but it was like
The batch was cheaper.
No. The pour over was a cheaper pour over than most places you go.
I see.
But if you go down to these specialty coffee shops, they want $4.50 for a pour over.
Yeah, I just think it's hard to
That's
have.
about the going rate is $4.50.
You're competing
It's
with
a
yourself.
lot.
Your menu's competing with yourself.
You can't have that.
I don't like that. That's
You can't have
how
a
I-
competitory menu, a predatory menu.
Well-
where one is predations, exerting predations on itself.
Yeah,
Where one is
yeah.
eating the other alive.
Well, it makes no sense. Obviously, you're like, why is this item, this product not performing? Well, we have this better product that's priced cheaper, or this product that's equally
Same
as good.
thing. Yeah.
Essentially, kind of. You know what I mean? It's hard to justify for a customer to pay more, especially if your barista would rather just pour it out of the batch brewer, save a little bit of time, and everybody's happier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we just make like a cool design out of all the V60s. Like when you walk into Walmart and they got all the Pepsi.
Stack them up.
Yeah, they've got like a big design.
Yeah. Glue them together. Make them look like a Yama. Like a cold brewed dripper.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. Or maybe we could like rig it so that it still comes out of the bottom of a V60, but it's a batch brewer. We're just making it look a little fancier.
I really want to look into that number 3.
I was
It's
a
like
half a click from buying it.
A hand poured batch brewer.
Yeah.
Is really what it is.
I don't think we've talked about this on air.
A ginormous batch brewer.
Yeah, number 3.
A ginormous pour over.
By Manual. Company called Manual. They've had a few other Kickstarter projects. This is their third. They have
number 1 and number 2, and now the number 3.
Yeah, which is good because we're past the 1 and 2. Odd naming. Anyway,
Yeah.
You got your number one? Your number
Oh,
two?
no, it's a number 2. It is definitely a number 2.
So number 3, we're golden.
Number 3 is good.
I'm extremely drawn to it. I think it solves so many of the problems, or I don't know, batching problems. Batching problems?
Yeah.
Brewing problems I've had with wanting to make 40 ounces of coffee, multiple cups at once. I was a half a click away from ordering it.
Yeah.
Their Kickstarter's still going. It did fully fund. 60 G's have been thrown for this one.
Here's my thing, though. If you wait to batch brew until somebody orders coffee, they're waiting for a longer time.
Yeah, you can't wait to batch brew, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're brewing fresh, or if you run out, there's going to be moments that happens. Do you then just kick single cup in there to fill in the gaps?
Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe.
Or you have a better system where...
why did he get the fancy one where he's doing it himself and I get the one out of the spigot? It's the same thing.
Spigot.
Oh, you standing there for 3 minutes over that thing, very carefully, very cautiously, ignoring
Spigot.
everybody, and you just turning around and talking to me while you're pulling on the spigot, that's the same thing? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh. It doesn't look the same. Do you know it doesn't look the same? In fact, as soon as that customer leaves, dude, this one is better. I totally messed up.
Way
I
better.
bombed that drink. I bombed it. He's going to walk in. He's going to be like, this doesn't taste right today. It tastes a little funky.
Yeah.
It's because I totally messed it up. Yeah, it looked like I was concentrating, but I was actually thinking about, man, I want this line to die down so I can jump back on Facebook and try and talk at this girl that I've been trying
There
to
you
get
go.
at.
There you go. As they say,
Yeah.
there's 7 different ways to skin a cat.
So, is that what they say?
Is that what they say?
Who says that? Who's
know.
skinning cats?
I thought that was a saying.
It could be.
Maybe there's ultimately no right
I
answer.
thought it was there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, and then there was wasn't there like a
But I don't know who's writing
Mythbusters
books like with 7 ways to skin cats,
no, there's only 7.
or just like your email articles.
The rest are just variations of the previous 7.
7 ways to skin a cat. Number 5 will blow your mind. I know you clicked on it.
Well, that's a number of it's a complete number. It's a good number.
Yes.
6 is incomplete. 7 is and like I said, number 8 really just variation of number 1.
Well, you can skin the same cat 9 times because it's got 9 lives.
No, well that's a good point. Maybe there's 8 ways to skin a cat because the 9th will kill it, and you can't go beyond that.
Yeah.
This is what are we talking about? Oh, see, there we go.
All right, that's the alarm. Quit talking.
That's it.
All right. Thank you for listening. If you're still with us, this one has been a stinker. I grant you that. But
You're so down on it.
I know. I'm
this
sorry.
This is amazing.
I'm sorry.
Just
Okay.
pretend that the feedbacks are excellent and everyone's happy with it. And next time there'll be more show notes.
And we'll catch you next time.
And happy brewing, everybody.
Happy brewing indeed, and I was pretty down on this one, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I totally feel you. We kept it in here just because want to be transparent with you. Some days I feel like we got off days, and this was, to me, definitely one of them. But we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.